Anyone who thinks of cosmetic surgery as a woman thing will be surprised to read a recent Wall Street Journal article that said over 1 million men had plastic surgery last year, and the numbers keep growing. And today, some regular guys who had work done are telling us why they and more men are going under the knife. Please welcome David Culpepper, Robert Scally, and plastic surgeon Dr. Sheldon Sevinor, who practices in Boston and Miami. Doctor, I just have to say this before you begin. I'm sure you tell most of your patients to stay out of the sun, do you not?
Of course I do.
What do you tell yourself?
I tell myself I don't want to look like a ghost after sitting under the operating rooms every day.
I see.
So I want a little self-tanner afterwards. But they all laugh at me because I say after a facelift on a woman and a man, the worst thing you do is sit in the sun.
Okay, so don't do as I do as I say, which I shouldn't say, and I shouldn't get the suntan, but off we go. Okay, so let's talk about plastic surgery, first of all. What are some of the most common procedures, and why do you think men are doing it so much?
Men are doing it because they realize what women have known for years, that there's stress regarding aging, the whole aging process. No longer is plastic surgery just for the rich and the famous. But what people don't realize is there's a great deal of psychology involved in plastic surgery. We have to have a meaningful communication with the patient. I have to understand, why does someone want to change their appearance?
It's not just the face, it's also liposuction, it's whatever.
A man who wants a flat belly and love handles and a facelift, that man is not going to make a bad marriage better. So every plastic surgeon has to operate on the appropriate patient.
They do the same thing with women, one hopes.
Absolutely.
And what else? What's the other reasons that they do it?
The other we're changing in today's society what it means for a woman to be beautiful and for a man to be handsome. No longer do we think about perfection. Plastic surgeons don't deal with perfection, we deal with improvement. And when I think about self-image, which is the key, and how we define what is beautiful or handsome in today's society. I think of an experience I had. I'm sitting with Sophia Loren in her living room in her home in California, and she's telling me...
Let me go to some of the people. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we're a live show, and I got to get to them. So, David,
Tell me later.
All right.
So you are 59 years old.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You own an industrial engine cooling company. You don't work in an industry that requires you to stay young. You're not in front of the cameras, but you had a facelift.
Yes.
Yeah? Why?
A number of years ago, I've been single for 26 years now, and I recently got married. I was talking to some of my employees, and they wondered, and they said, when are you going to get married again? I said, I don't know, probably when I turn 60, and I'll get a facelift too. And that's sort of like how things have started with it. I told my fiance that story, and the Wall Street Journal did an interview with me, and they asked about, well, why'd you do it? And I said, well, we're getting married, and the doctor said he could do it on New Year's Eve. And she said she didn't want her pictures to have that saggy chin in their wedding pictures.
Oh, so she said that.
Well, yeah,
Well,
she said
there's
that.
a before and after. Can we show again
Let's
the
see
before
that.
and after? Yeah. Well,
It's a painful. It's not the easiest thing to do. How about the recovery? I mean, how did you take that?
It was only a couple of days. It was really bad. You go to a hotel room, and you're 24-hour nurses there, and you have little sacks hanging off underneath your drainage. But it just 2 days, really, was really bad.
By the way, one of the things that's difficult, whoever your you are not his plastic surgeon.
No.
The scars are more difficult than men because you can't hide it with hair, but you have very few scars.
Yes.
So your wife is in the audience. Where's Cindy? What'd you think?
Oh, he's terrific.
You think he
I was
looked
in
great?
love with him before, obviously.
But more now?
Oh, wow. He's sexy.
Okay.
So much for Love is Blind.
Well, you got a beautiful wife, too. Okay. Robert, you are divorced?
Yes.
And you're about to start dating again?
We'll see about that.
I see. Okay. So, where was your plastic surgery?
It was in Boston, Massachusetts.
No, I don't mean...
Oh, I'm sorry.
On your face.
I was with Dr. Sevinor. I had what's referred to as neck sculpting. What happened was I've always been active my whole life.
You were a former Green Beret.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yes.
That's a tough guy.
Yeah.
So you wanted to get rid of what's here?
No matter how much I worked out, how much I ran, no matter what happened, I always had this little hereditary type of, skin hanging.
How old are you?
49.
Yeah.
So now we can see the pictures. Yeah, now it's...
Wasn't bad.
No, but now it's better. See, he doesn't have that...
Yeah. But you could have lost weight and knocked that down.
No, I tried that. I was always
didn't
active.
work?
I ran. I did everything. I was very active when I was in special forces.
So all you did was cut this out?
Yeah, what they did was
That's it?
I made a 1-inch incision underneath the chin,
Yeah.
and I don't like liposuction because in the neck,
Liposuction on
the neck, because
but you're not talking about on the body.
I do liposuction on all areas of the body, but I don't like it on the neck because it can leave wrinkle.
Yeah.
And so I do what's called a neck sculpting, where I make a small incision, put in a fiber optic light, lift the skin up, and remove the fat and the direct
It's interesting, to me, because for years and years, and as men got away with just looking more distinguished when they had wrinkles and they had this and the gray hair, and now they can't get away with it anymore. In a way, it's kind of sad.
Look at the economy we live in, with a 9% unemployment rate. Men are having cosmetic surgery also because they feel they can compete better in the job market.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Are you getting more and
why
more?
not fight ageism instead of the wrinkles?
Because right now they got to get a job.
I know. It's sad,
and they're afraid it's a young man's world. Are you getting more and more men?
Absolutely.
Are they embarrassed, or women are still embarrassed?
Men used to be embarrassed. 34 years ago, when I started out in Boston, my patients who were males that had plastic surgery came in a different waiting room. They wouldn't sit in the waiting room with my women patients. Now that's changed. More and more men are comfortable having it and talking about it.
Robert, how do your pals feel about it back at the Green Berets?
It's something you don't talk about at Fort Bragg. We don't discuss this. But a lot of the guys I talked to, my friend Ben, he knew I was coming on. All the guys were on my team when I was in Central America. But all the guys, we talk about it. They kind of like, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
They don't make fun?
No, it
Not to
isn't.
his face.
No, you know what it is?
Either one of you going to want, now that you've been successful, you're going to want any more?
Well, I may have some eye work done at some time. It's because they're going to be hanging down over my vision.
Oh, well, that's if you can't see, then you need to do it. Yeah.
Fixed.
What about you? You're going to do a little...
That's an excuse.
Yeah, that's...
Well, remember the deviated septum?
Every woman who had a nose fix had a deviated septum. Yeah.
But I mean, women have been doing it forever. Now you guys are right in the same miserable boat with the rest of us.
What's the most common?
The most common operation is liposuction for men.
Get rid of
the protruding abdomen and the love handles on men.
See, they were called love handles. It was so adorable.
Yeah, you can see it before and after of one of my patients. And a lot of women like those love handles.
Something to hang on to.
Yeah. That's a patient of mine who is 45 years old, and no matter how much he diet and exercise, he couldn't get rid of the love handles and the protuberant abdomen.
Yeah.
And this is a patient of mine whose nose I did, his chin, an enlargement, and I did his upper and lower eyelid lifts, 48 years old. Gynecomastia, this occurs in 40% of the male population. It is one of the most psychologically significant surgeries we do.
Yeah.
Men won't take their shirts off. This is a young boy who came to me. He was ridiculed as a kid because of his ears. It's
I totally understand that one, boy.
You've done a lot of good work, and we thank you for coming on and being with us. It's, it's not easy to, you should excuse the expression, expose yourself. Our thanks to David Culpepper, Robert Scally, and Dr. Sevinor. We appreciate it. We'll be right back.